What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, taking a look at this Invoked Generator deck that I showcased not that long ago. I thought I would take it over into Master Duel, and I've had some really good results. I'm kind of flying up. I haven't played the Master Duel like crazy. I've only played it like maybe a handful of times, kind of building my deck as I go along. So I thought I'd go through this. I'm in Platinum now, so I'm working my way up through there. I'll probably be in Platinum 1 pretty soon, but it's funny, like I had one last replay that I wanted to show you like in this video, and it was like the greatest replay ever because I always talked about the Generaider trap card, the counter trap, and how I'm like, I don't know about it, but one thing I've always talked about was when you have Invoked Dogmatika, it's great discard fodder for negating traps, which are like really kind of big right now. And that's what happened basically. I had negated his pot of not prosperity, I can't, extravagance, and then he went to the battle phase, went to main phase 2, and went for evenly match, and I had this Generaider boss fight, in my hand, so it kind of made like a really big difference, and that's like specifically why I still play this card, so it worked out. Can't show it to you, but yeah, just imagine that it happened. I'm playing against Dark Magician here. People play a lot of random stuff in Master Duel, which is kind of cool. It's actually like a lot more diverse even than like YGO Pro in my experience, which is nice, I guess. Having Max seen the format is still kind of weird, although I feel like every deck in Master Duel, people play around it, so it's kind of a really strange setup. For the first beginning parts of this duel, like as I'm going up, I didn't have Fleur, because it's an ultra rare, and I had finally gotten it, so you'll see it at the end of this gameplay video. But for the time being, if you see me do some weird stuff, it's because I don't have Fleur yet. So I have to make kind of weird, awkward plays. Sometimes I end up searching out punishment during the end phase, even though I, didn't set it. But anyways, Dark Magician stinks really, really badly. He ends up scooping here. There's going to be a lot of scooping, but I just want to show you like how consistent and how awesome these board setups are. And they're like really, really powerful. Like this one, I'm sure this guy just ended up scooping afterwards. So let's take a look at and see what the hand I had. I'm still pretty impressed with Master Duel. I really want it to be on phones. And we all like there needs to be like some events, like there needs to be tournaments. Like I want to see some YC. Not, I mean, we don't. That doesn't even have to be as extreme as YCS. Like it should just like there should be something going on other than just ranked duels, which are fine, ultimately. But come on, like what are we doing here? The cool thing is I don't think I've end up showing it here. Maybe in one of these duels, but your hand traps are kind of play starters for Maximus because you always want your Maximus to go through. I don't play Shaddoll Schism because there's already 3 bricks in the deck, with the Generaider stuff, so it's like kind of not worth it in my opinion. And I kind of enjoyed the extra deck space to kind of have a little more fun with it. So that's just kind of how I roll. But in any case, I can go ahead and send the Wind Pegasus. And because I went through that loop, I can just, banish with the Maximus the Solomon Great Almirage, meaning I still have this follow-up here with the Wind Pegasus at Ignister, which is always pretty cool. And I still have Pot of Prosperity, so hopefully I can find a Generaider off the top. I banished 6, so I want to go pretty deep. Although, as I've been playing the deck more and more, looking at the top 3 is usually the correct answer, because obviously you do want to use your extra deck on some level. But I did end up finding the boss stage. It was at the top, so if I banished 3, it would have been the same effect. So this is the full setup. I mean, this is literally as good as it gets. He ends up scooping, but I'm going to get the boss stage and the Maximus, so I'm going to get a lot of advantage off of that. Plus, I already have the punishment as well. Plus the infinite impermanence. You can't be too mad. Although more than likely, I probably would have held the imperm in my hand just so I had a trap negate, with the Macabre. But yeah, pretty nice setup, obviously. Still wish I could see my opponent's hand. That's kind of whack that they haven't done that yet, but okay. And there's one other thing, and I want to show that to you guys now. I think I may have mentioned it before in one of my previous Master Duel videos, but it's like you have to hold down, like, this is what I want the field to look like at all times. Like, why do I have to hold down the information button? I want just like have it be a toggle switch, because this shows in very important stuff. Like it shows like what the top of the graveyard looks like. It just reminds you, because I hate these dark holes that these go down. Like these are resources in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I want to be more aware of what my situation is instead of having to hover over them or hold down the information button. It's such an easy fix. I really don't understand it, but this is a great setup. I mean, I do have Joel and Lockbird. Another kind of tech card. This is normally Triple Tactics Talents, but I've been playing Book of Moon instead because it's cheap, and I think I pulled it in the pack. Low-key kind of good. Like Book of Moon is kind of nice. Like The funny application is if you normal summon Alistair, they go for Infib, and you have this in your hand. It's kind of like what's it called, Fluenderies. Like it's kind of like that interaction, but no, most of the time it's actually pretty decent against your opponent. But so okay, I'll go ahead and negate the Regeki. I want to keep this Invoked Dogmatika, but I think he actually has Dark Hole to go along with his other card there. Or no, maybe okay. So yeah, I'm playing against Photons. He's got a shiny Photon Sanctuary. That's kind of nice, I suppose. But you know, this deck is just going to be able to put up against most of what your opponent's going to go for. So the tokens end up going array. That's okay. I'm holding on to this Solemn Strike because this can't get over anything of importance. I can normal summon once again the Alistair the Invoker, probably go into Purga Trio, although I'm not sure if it is lethal, or maybe I end up missing lethal. I don't quite remember. It's going to be pretty close. I have no idea what this back row was. I don't think it ever ends up getting used. This Book of Moon isn't going to really do anything because he's going to link plays, but if he was able to go into his like actual stuff, like this actually would have been a pretty decent card against it. So I was off lethal, so I was pretty correct to hold this Book of Moon. I would have been 1,000 off anyways. I'm getting another boss stage, so this card is so good, man. I enjoy this deck so much, like especially in Master Duel when there is no Phoenix Enforcer. Like the fact that this exists, I think, is just so awesome. And I love the animation for Monster Reborn. Playing on Master Duel is so fun. Like it's definitely the best experience. I think I end up Solemn Striking this. It's like I don't think he's gonna have anything else for the rest of the churn. I don't know. I mean, it's Galaxy Eyes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, what are you gonna expect? Like, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be more than enough to stop them. I love Galaxy Eyes. It's one of my favorite decks, but yeah, it stinks really badly. This deck plays a ton of hand traps. I mean, it plays a lot of disruption. And one tech card, I'm pretty sure you'll see it here at some point, is Pankratops. Like it's been really like beneficial, especially in a format in Master Duel, and I guess in the TCG now, you know, where skill drain's at 3. This deck can kind of play against skill drain because boss stage can get you a 3,000 attack body from the deck, but it's still not a great thing to go up against. There goes this, you know. Have you ever seen normal summon Alistair before? I know a lot of people are sick of this card, but I don't know. I think it's a fun engine, and I'm glad they haven't hit it in the TCG, to be honest with you, because I don't know. I'm sure most people do not share that opinion, but I love playing this deck, so I'm obviously very much in support of having it around. Invocation can get me Alistair back. Nadir Servants, like this is awesome. Like this is a really good setup. I may end up sending the Wind Pegasus, grabbing a Maximus, although I could have grabbed Ecclesia and gone like one deeper into my deck. I mean, that's fine. Although, in theory, I don't know if I had the Fleur yet. I probably didn't. This is what I was talking about when I didn't have it because it's an ultra rare. Yeah, I ended up grabbing the Punishment. Normally, this would be a Fleur, so even more follow-up. But Joel and Lockbird is hopefully going to do quite a bit of, you know, legwork for me here. But I do have an Omni Negate, and I do have, like, a Trap or a Monster Negate. I would imagine that's going to be pretty good. He's going to go for Harpies. Like, that's fine. Like, you do what you got to do. So he's playing Time Lords. I think there's a lot of people playing this deck, and it stinks, man. It stinks so bad, actually. It's like kind of annoying to play against, and I'm pretty sure he just scoops here. He ends up going for the Sandian. He equips this. You don't take battle damage from this, so like this card like literally isn't doing anything, and he ends up scooping, but still, nonetheless, a very good setup on that duel there. And we'll just keep going along here. There's like 5 more duels. And as I go up in Platinum, I'm sure the decks that I'm playing against will be a little bit better. I'm pretty sure one of these is like Dragon Maid, though I may not have ended up saving it, but I know that's kind of one of the better duels. And of course, VFD is still legal. Like, who knows? Like, it doesn't feel like they're updating this game like nearly fast enough. This probably... Okay, so normal summon Alistair. Pretty nice, pretty nice. I think that's like every duel so far, but that's okay. Okay, so I can go into Salmagreen Almirage. Go into the Invoked Dogmatika. But this is... it's going to be nice because when I go into the Maximus, I'll be able to put this back into the deck. So the Generaider boss of ice, because I do play the Ferjit, which is just such a great tech card to play in this deck. It's so awesome. I get the free special summon there with the Ecclesia, and I also get to send a Wind Pegasus. So I'm just like, I'm so happy about this setup, and who knows what I'll get off the top, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it can't be worse than, you know, than the Generaider boss of ice stage, or just of ice stage. I end up drawing into, I think, the Alistair, and here finally I have the Fleur. So this is a more traditional setup. So no Generaider engine this time, but nonetheless, Droll and Ash and Fleur and Makaba, like this is a really nice setup. Surprised he doesn't go straight into the battle phase there. Kind of weird, to be honest with you, because he gives me the opportunity to negate his alternative, which is going to be banished. So maybe a little bit of a misplay there. I'm not going to let him, like, I just think going neg 2 is just too good. So instead of, like, letting that go through and, you know, going for the Droll and Lockbird, I don't really know if he has anything else to search for the rest of the duel. He does have the Monster Reborn there, which is kind of hilarious, in my opinion. So he's going to bring back the Blue Eyes White Dragon, sure. Probably get over the Makaba. Yeah, I guess it's probably the right choice. Like, Ecclesia isn't technically doing anything. No idea what this back row is, but I can actually pop it if I want to. Terraforming can search me the boss stage, but the duel's over, I'm pretty sure, because I already have Fleur in my hand. So I'm going to be able to get a lot of damage on board. He ended up sending, with the first Maximus, a Fusion Monster, which is a huge, huge, huge mistake. Because I'm going to be able to go into the Invoked... I just call this Og. But I think it's like a Goides or something. I feel like I'm saying it so stupidly. But I'm going to pop the back row. It ends up being a Chaos form. I can, you know, banish the Makaba. This is going to get a big attack boost. Special summon out the Fleur. And this is well more than enough for lethal, which is kind of cool. Shout out. I'm surprised he didn't wait to get at least a little bit of experience points. He ended up surrendering, but okay, that's on him. And we'll just keep going along here. 5 more duels. And let's see what happens here. This deck definitely has the ability to go first or second. Doesn't really matter. You prefer to go first, obviously, for your boss stage plays, but yeah, you play so many hand traps, you're usually able to disrupt your opponent on some sort of level. Alistair in the opening again, kind of nice. But in Ash, a Solemn Strike, like this is I mean, I don't have the Ecclesia engine. So he does have Maxi, and this is but I do have Ash, and I play 3 Ash, like, because Ash is a good card, but mostly because of that, right? So I'm going to be able to, like, kind of make my plays. I don't really mind trading. It's kind of crummy to have to, but he's going to be starting with 5 cards, and I'm going to have 3 Interruptions, plus Maxi, so, you know, like, who's the real loser here in this situation? I'm not sure. I'm thinking him. Like, I feel pretty good about this. You know, there goes the Cardna. And I wonder if I can just go a little quicker here. Yep, so we'll just go through here. Here's Makaba, as you all know. Bring the Alistair back to my hand, activate boss stage. And there we go. Set the Solemn Strike. So if he did have the Ash, like, it would have been pretty nice, of course. Because I did have the Negate 4. And that's, I mean, this card, the Solemn Strike, I can't recommend playing this enough. I mean, technically this could be like an Effect Veiler or whatever other hand trap that you would want, but man, oh man, like, it's such a lifesaver so many times. But still, nonetheless, I had a great setup there, especially having the Ash for the Maxi made up like pretty much all the difference in the world. All right. Let's see what I'm playing against next. I don't really remember. And by the way, like, all of these replays I've gotten in the last hour, so it hasn't taken me a long time to kind of get the resources for this video. Just kind of showcasing how good this is. I think hopefully this is a good use of Pankratops here. I'm not sure if I'm going first or second. Looks like he's going first. Of course, I'm going to be ashing this Pot of Extravagance. If he's playing a spell and trap heavy deck, you know, I can't let him get something else. Like if it's a skill drain or whatever, a torrential tribute, something like that, I have to be able to stop that. Plays Pot of Extravagance and Pot of Prosperity in the same deck, kind of sus to me. But I guess I don't know. Maybe that's something you want to do. I guess you're depending on you getting Ash, because if he just activated that, it kind of would have been a dead card. But anyways, I don't know if setting a card technically was the right decision, because I'm going to get a free kind of summon there with the Pankratops. He does have it's a Solemn Warning, which that's fine, man. Like if that's what I use, if that's what he has to use for the Solemn Warning, like I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. He did have the Ash there for the Alistair. Kind of unfortunate, of course. But, you know, what are you going to do? That's his. This is probably the most Ash card in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. But the fact that I do have a lot of great follow-up here. So the Dogmatika Punishment not only is disruption, but of course, you know, if it's available or if it's like, you know, you can do it in the duel, you can definitely go ahead and send the Titanclad, which of course is going to give you a lot of advantage. He special summoned out the Gizmek. I thought this was a Grand Maju, but you never know. You might as well test it because I'm not taking damage anyways. And I'm going to be able to pop both of these cards, so I'm pretty sure he's going to try to, or he's going to get rid of this. That's fine, you know, whatever. Unfortunately, I can't send the Titanclad just quite yet because I do need to get this Grand Maju off the board. It's the biggest threat as of right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop it so he doesn't really have anything out there. Only 25 cards left in deck. So if I saw him strike his next one, he's only going to be able to use Gizmek one more time. I do have Alistair in Graveyard, but I did use that punishment, obviously. So the Invocation is not online. The Solemn Strike comes in pretty clutch right there, like I kind of just talked about, meaning he only has 17 cards left in deck, so he probably has already banished all copies of his Grand Maju. If he would have normal summoned it this turn, I would honestly just cry. If this is the only thing that I have to deal with, then, like, yeah, this is obviously the end of the duel, because the Invocation is now online. And I can go ahead and draw a card. It's a Prod of Prosperity, kind of decent, but definitely want to use it in main phase 2 if I have to. The Invocation gets solemned, which is kind of hilarious. So I only run one Invocation, so that's actually kind of sus, but I kind of forgot this myself, yeah. He tries to solemn this, but I do have Magical Meltdown. You cannot negate the effects to Fusion Summon, so you know, he just effectively ended the duel for himself, which is so hilarious. I can normal summon Alistair again. I can go into another Invocation, which is kind of fun. And he just ends up scooping there, so kind of... Magical Meltdown is like a really, really good card for a lot of reasons, right? I don't know if... I think that's what I just showed. Yeah, it did. I'm pretty sure. Alright, so 3 more duels here. I'm coming down to it. I'm pretty sure this isn't the one I just showed. Hopefully not. And let's take a look here. Couple of Alistair, a Book of Moon, and a Punishment. It's like a so-so hand for sure. It ends up being Pendulum, and this was a really annoying duel. I thought, well, I don't know. I actually probably should have asked that because, like, he's not going to search Pendulum Call because otherwise he wouldn't be able to use his, what's it called, his Wisdom Eye Magician, but he only Pendulum summons once, which is really weird because he has 3 cards in hand, so I don't really know what's going on, but okay. So he has an Ash, so it's like, Pendulum's playing Ash. The only thing in my mind that I was thinking at this moment was, oh, he must be playing Cross-Eyed Designator, and he ended up, you know, opening it, because, like, if you're playing Pendulum, like, you need Pendulum monsters. Like, hand traps are great and all, but if you play too many hand traps, like, this is what it's going to look like. I just let his Maxi die, which is probably the correct choice. I do have the Alistair follow-up next turn. He does go for the Odd Eyes Revolution. I will go ahead and Ash that so he doesn't get any sort of play starters. No way to get into anything. And I think we just puts us in attack position, ends up going to the battle phase. I probably could have just waited until the actual battle phase. He's going to get a little bit of damage after Pendulum summoning here. Like, yeah, it's fine. I did send the Titanclad this time, though. So during the end phase, Ecclesia is going to come out. Ecclesia can search. And then another Ash. Like, I thought that was so wild. Like, why are you playing so many hand traps in Pendulum? Like, I'll probably end up making a Pendulum deck at some point in this. While I'm playing Master Duel, I like Pendulums that much. So it will come around. I don't even know how affordable it is. I don't know if there's any ultra rares or what the rarities of these are. But in any case, Maximus can come down. I can banish the Titanclad. And Elder can, you know, pop one of his scales, so he's not going to be able to Pendulum summon for the rest of the... Not the rest of the duel, but he's going to have to top deck, like, a scale that he needs. And it's not like Pendulum Call is going to help him either. These are all going to get attack boost. I can go ahead and attack directly, so there's only one more turn left in this duel. This is pretty funny, and this is why I like Book of Moon, honestly. So he's going to go ahead and normal summon here the Purple Poison Magician. I'm just going to Book of Moon it so he can't use the effect of Double Iris Magician. And then he ends up scooping. So shout out to Book of Moon, man. That card's awesome. And just 2 more duels. So you've seen Pankratops and Book of Moon, so it's like maybe those are like randomly good cards you can throw in. But that's kind of one of the fun parts about Master Duel is like every card isn't available, so you do have to get a little bit creative when you don't have the cards and you don't really feel like spending the money either. So no Alistair in this hand, but I do have the boss stage. I do have Max C, so like yeah, I did fire it off like a little early, but at this point I feel like I'm stopping his churn, and I feel like I'm gonna have like a lot more advantage than him. So he gets the Tiding. And the Book of Moon is definitely where that can kind of come in handy a little bit, because I think he's not going to be able to bounce it. You know, that Tiding. I top deck an Ash Blossom, kind of meh. But yeah, I'm not going to let him bounce anything back to my hand, because I want boss stage to go through during my turn. Because otherwise, if it was face up, you know, he probably could have, you know, shot this the Har back into my hand, which would have stunk really badly. So 3 forms of interruption: the Ash Blossom, the Solemn Strike, and the Har. Like, that's pretty great. And if he searches, he's going to have to discard something or send this off the field. He does go for the Harpy's Feather Duster, so I'm going to have to negate there. Don't really have too much of a choice, because I want that boss stage to survive another turn. It just gives you too much advantage. He does go for the Lightning Storm, but he destroys all attack position monsters. Don't know if that was a misclick necessarily, but alright, I mean, that's on you for sure. He tries to Foolish Burial, a Dragon Maid card, but I'm going to go ahead and Ash there. And honestly, like, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking in my mind, oh, he's probably going for Hermetic Seals at this point. So everybody knows how good that card is. So I'm just going to go ahead and Solemn Strike it, showing how good this card is. So he doesn't get the bounce effect, and he doesn't get the, you know, the summon from the deck, which is just so good in this, because obviously all the Dragon Maid cards actually have effects. It's not really like, you know, Dragon Link, where they just kind of summon whatever out of the deck to get something on board. I'm going to attack directly there, and boss stage once again is going to give me more advantage. This time it's going to be the Garda. So I'm going to get a Banish and an Omni Negate this turn. I love the token summoning animation. It's so fun. He's going to go ahead and normal summon there. I'm just going to negate that, basically turning this offline too, and he ends up scooping. So shout out to Dragon Maid. And last but not least, looks like this is a long duel. It's 10 turns. I don't really remember what happens. I still wish I could have saved that last duel, but nonetheless. And let's take a look. So I have in my opening here 2 of my bricks. So this is actually a great duel to show you, because it's like, I'm pretty sure this is as bad as it gets. Like, I have the 2 cards that you don't want to see. Max C is there, so that's like kind of decent. He does have the Ash Blossom, of course, so kind of sucks. I have literally nothing to go off of. I'm just going to have to pass the turn and hope I get something. You know, Nadir Servant would be really nice. Like, definitely very nice. And main phase 1. So he's playing Ancient Gears. A little bit of a strange kind of duo here. Maxi isn't doing anything, so that definitely seems like what a lot of people are kind of basing their decks around. Making this card like less good. So kind of an interesting experiment Master Duel has been. But Pankratops does come down. He activates Torrential Tribute, which I don't really know why. Because I'm going to be able to pop his other back row. It ends up being, I think, a Called by the Grave. He doesn't chain it. But I guess it doesn't really make too much of a difference at all anyways. It's potato. But okay. So, being able to play around Torrential Tribute, I mean, that's Pankratops is nuts. Like, the fact that it's able to do that is really good. I'm going to be able to get an Omni Negate from the deck, so he ends up going for Max C there. I do have the Ash Blossom in response, like, so that's pretty nice. But I only have 1 boss stage to activate, right? Because I have both of these. I desperately need to find, you know, my Dogmatic engine, so I can start sending these cards back. Like, this is the worst case scenario. The Imperm there, maybe I shouldn't have said it in this column. I'm not too sure, but it's fine. It's fine, ultimately. Okay. So, main phase 1 there. Sets a card and passes. I'm still sucking it up over here. Hopefully I can draw, like, an Alistair. Well, what do you know? I draw an Alistair. Okay, so Invoke. So it does go through. So I'm on my way, which is kind of cool. Solomon Great Amaraj. He doesn't have anything I can banish from his graveyard, because these are all Earth monsters, unfortunately. So nothing much I can do there. There goes the Secure Guard. And I can go ahead and Fusion Summon. And I missed a lethal here because I can't do math, I'm pretty sure. Although, yeah, I should have activated the effective Alistair. This should have been the end of the duel, but Yeah, I thought this was enough. Math is hard, man. Don't counting, dude. Dude, being smart in Yu-Gi-Oh not necessary. I just wanted to see this, right? It looks cool. Like I have a little diamond of cards here. I think this is a really cool looking setup. So I'm gonna use back C here. He's gonna special summon 2 from the deck. I'll get to draw 1. But I mean, honestly, I deserve to have lost this. I do actually draw a boss stage, which is not a really big deal. So if you activate like a fusion card, like that's pretty awesome. I don't. Maybe I could have let these 2 crash, but in my mind, like I wanted Alistair next turn, you know, for the follow up. So he's gonna bring out another Reactor Dragon. Reactor Dragon's going to attack, you know, into I guess my the boss of ice, the Generaider boss of ice. He's going to bring out a 3rd one. I think he's going to try to fusion summon here. I will go ahead and activate the Imperm, and my hand is fully replenished now. I still haven't drawn a Dogmatika stuff, which is kind of insane. No Pride of Prosperity either, which would have helped me find it at some point too. But he's going to go ahead and link summon here into the Ancient Gear. I think it lets him add a card to his hand, but I'm going to go ahead and use Droll afterwards. I don't know if that really does anything at all. Pride of Prosperity finally end up finding here. But he's going all out. He only has 300 life points, so I mean, I won this duel anyways. Like, he was never really going to win this duel, but just kind of funny how bad I was at doing math. So he is going to bring out, once again, the hunting. So he's going to be able to fusion summon here, and he's going to fusion summon a lot. He's going to use all his resources to go into Gear Giant, which is a big body, so in theory I can't get over it. But, you know, that's why I kind of kept Alistair in hand, so that I could go into the Agoides, or whatever the heck it's called, the Og, and Invocation. Then I can go ahead and fusion summon there, go into it, pop his Ancient Gear, because it doesn't have any, it's only unaffected by spell and trap effects, not monster effects. And I'm just going to pop this. I have a lot of other plays here that I can end up going for, but, you know, no need. He doesn't have any cards, so it's like completely over. But yeah, that was like a pretty long look, obviously, you know, at this Invoked Generator deck. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.